You know what? Keep blaming me. He's never gonna change, only if he wants to for himself.
Yeah, no, I'm always wrong, no matter what.
It's okay, then don't be married. File for divorce.
If Brennan decides he doesn't want to be our journey with me, we done. Like, as a couple, we are, like, not exist anymore.
These couples are at a breaking point. Julia is convinced that the only way to save her marriage is to go on a trip together. Darcey and Georgi have just come from a trip that ended up going horribly wrong at the end. So are trips really the magic solution? Well, let's kick off proceedings with Darcey, who's out with her sister.
Better out than in. Good, come on down.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, and it's not even like they're the only people in the class. I feel for them. Like, those poor people had to pay for a class only to have to hear Darcey and Stacey moan and groan. But the truth is, Darcey needs this release because things at home are currently very tense.
We've been back from Bulgaria for a few days now, and Georgie and I are barely speaking. We've been mostly talking through text, and we haven't even talked about what happened on our last night in Bulgaria.
That's concerning, isn't it? Communication between Darcey and Georgi is completely at an all-time low, it seems. Now, it's for that reason that Darcey has chosen to hang out with Stacey and blow off some steam today. They want to relax and let go of all the negative energy in their lives. Who knows? Perhaps that might even make her calmer the next time she talks to Georgi. Heck, that might actually help them have a more productive, fruitful conversation for once. I mean, it's not likely, but stranger things have happened. It could happen. I mean, if the vibes in this class are anything to go by, it is a possibility.
Thank your body for showing up for you every day.
Thank you for showing up. Thank you, body. I love you.
Namaste.
Yes.
Yeah, they do definitely appear to be more calm, but sadly, that isn't gonna last too long. You see, as soon as the class ends, Stacey asks Darcey for an update about how things have been between her and Georgi since getting back to the States. Darcey admits that they've been tense, very tense. Especially, she says, when it comes to the topic, the grand old topic of money. Really hit the fan when I asked Georgi for his half of our rent, she says.
He was kind of hesitant to give me his half. He wasn't responding to my messages, or I was trying to communicate about it with him, because now he wants half the money back for Bulgaria. What? Yes.
What? He wants to be repaid half the money for their trip to Bulgaria? Honestly, what's going on with all the men in 90 Day Fiancé land? Are they all slowly morphing into Gino or something? I mean, this sudden demand by Georgi feels very greedy and selfish, especially considering that Darcey single-handedly paid for all of their bills for the longest time. Now, while we don't get any clarification about whether or not this was indeed the arrangement before they went on the trip, whether she's always known that Georgi would want half the money, but the truth is, if that was never spoken about and Georgi has only now decided to ask for that money after their fight, well, that isn't exactly fair. Now, going back to the initial issue, the issue of Georgi's half of the rent, Darcey explains that she had to resort to desperate measures in order to get that money.
I had to put Daddy on a text, a group text, just to say, hi, Georgie, it's Darcey. Can you please pay your share of the rent? It's due today. So he did.
I actually don't know which side is crazier here. Is it the fact that at that age, Darcey has to run to her daddy to sort out her husband? Or is it the fact that her husband is so bad at paying his rent that his wife has to call in her father? Like, whichever way you cut it, it doesn't exactly bode too well for their marriage that they need a referee to talk about something as simple as rent. It's no wonder that hearing this, Stacey is alarmed. There's some serious red flags here.
Very strange. If he doesn't have money for rent and he wants half the money back for Bulgaria, where's he getting all this money to want an apartment in Bulgaria?
Yeah, it's a good point, but to be fair to Georgi, he's never said that the apartment is going to happen immediately. He's always spoken about it as a goal that he eventually wants, so he might not have the money at the moment. But at the same time, he might have the money. I mean, Darcey has no clue about the state of his finances. Like, by hiding his money from her, by being so secretive about it, you can understand why, to Darcey, it feels like he might be trying to build a life of his own, one without her.
Is this the kind of life you want to live for the rest of your life?
My gut says beware of that, but I want to have hope, so I don't know.
Now, since returning from Bulgaria, Georgi and Darcey have been living in the same apartment, sleeping in the same bed, but living completely separate lives, not even talking to each other. But when we next join them, all that is about to change. They're going to be forced to talk to each other. You see, tonight, they're going to dinner with their friends. There's no more avoiding each other. And from literally the moment they all sit down, everyone around that table can sense that there's something up with Georgi.
Georgi,
Cheers.
cry you a river.
Yes.
I think he needs a drink.
She's been tired mentally, physically been tired, exhausted.
Now, privately to the camera crew, he reveals that he's still very hurt about what happened that last night. He can't believe what Darcey accused him of, and he can't believe that she just left him all alone. I really don't want to be here, he admits. I don't want to pretend like everything is okay. Now, oblivious to all of this, back at the table, his friends want to know how the trip to Bulgaria was. Was Darcey's look toned down enough for you, Georgi? Asks Roxy.
Did she still stand out too much there?
We thought about it, but
Can you just close your
yeah, I got my
nipple?
boobs popping out now.
This is Miami. It's okay.
Georgi's tradition.
Look, Georgi never likes the way that Darcey dresses, right? But I think given how tense things are between them right now, the way she's dressed tonight, her flaunting her assets in this way, is only going to make him even more annoyed. Like, Darcey knows that this is a pet peeve of his. I do wonder whether she's dressed like this deliberately. But then again, it is Darcey. This might just be a normal Tuesday night for her. Either way, for now, Darcey obliges, she covers up slightly, and goes on to explain to their friends that Georgi's family was incredibly warm and welcoming to her. The trip itself was great, she says. That is, it was great up until our last night.
There was some trigger moments for me that night when we were packing, and he said he wanted to start traveling alone.
It was misunderstanding, and she
Absolutely.
overreacted.
Georgi tries to explain that he wants his wife to travel with him. But, he says, I also want to see my family more often, so there might be circumstances where I go to Bulgaria without her. That doesn't mean that I don't want her with me. She's welcome to come with me whenever she wants. Now, that's why I want to buy an apartment in Bulgaria, he explains. It'll just make our trips there more convenient, much easier. But, he goes on to say, our fight wasn't just about that. Let's not pretend like you didn't also say some hurtful things to me. You accused me of being a gold digger only with you for a green card. Now, to this, Darcey's response is to say, in order for us both to heal from that fight, we both need to put our hands up and admit that we were wrong. But Georgi is incapable of doing that. He never admits that he's wrong. Now, their friend Sven jumps to Georgi's defence. That's just a guy thing, he says. Admitting that you're wrong is always harder for a guy. That's just how we men are, right, Florian?
For me, to be honest, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, but what can do?
Sometimes we don't know for what you're wrong, because everything you do is wrong sometimes.
There's something about the way that Georgi says that actually makes me more worried than if they were screaming at each other right now. Like the guy, both of them in fact, he and Darcey, both just sound defeated. It's as if they've lost the will to fight for each other, fight for this marriage. Now, Georgi's victim act, portraying himself as constantly being wrong, his wife always being unhappy and angry at him, is the final straw for Darcey.
You know what? Keep blaming me. He's never gonna change, only if he wants to for
Yeah,
himself.
no, I'm always wrong, no matter what.
It's okay, then don't be married. File for divorce.
Yeah, this is a very intense conversation, a very intense fight to be having in a setting like this with your friends around you. Like, it's that response, Darcey just bringing up divorce like that suddenly makes their friends realise that this is more than just a normal fight. We've seen Darcey and Georgi fight quite a lot, they admit. They argue about everything in front of us, from money to her clothing. But it's never been like this, they say. This time feels very different.
For her to just drop that whole thing on the table, I think was kind of like crazy. So something had to happen bigger than this, just what we heard.
Maybe something has happened that we've not been privy to. Or maybe this is just the culmination of many years of fights. Maybe all of their little fights have built up over the years into a climate of distrust. A climate where a husband and wife can't even speak to each other anymore. Look, one thing's for sure, this marriage right now is on the brink of disaster. And another couple also in the same boat are Julia and Brandon. The last time we saw them, Julia had just told Brandon that she needs a break. She told Brandon that he should stay at home with his mummy and daddy while she goes off to New York with her parents without him.
I just come back from New York after 3 days. In New York, I spent time with my parents alone. I spent time with myself, and I doesn't talk with Brandon.
Yeah, that also isn't good. Another couple who are just not communicating with each other. Now, keep in mind, Julia feels aggrieved because Brandon initially agreed to taking an extended trip to Europe in order for them to reconnect, only for his parents to then get involved and change his mind. Like, as soon as they said it was a bad idea, Brandon was also out as well. Now, this time apart from Brandon has given Julia the space to think. I've decided, she says, that I will be taking this trip with or without him.
If Brandon decides he doesn't want to be our journey with me, that we done. Like, as a couple, we are like not exist anymore.
This is a hill that she's willing to die on. If yet again Brandon follows his mummy and daddy and not me, not his own guts, then that's it, she says. Our marriage will be over. Like, the way that she's speaking here sounds like her mind is set. She's absolutely resolute about this. The only thing left for her to now do is break this news to Brandon. Now, when the taxi pulls up outside their house, Brandon just so happens to be mowing the lawn. And despite not talking for 3 days, Julia has absolutely no time for niceties or small talk. She dives straight in.
I go into this ship with or without you. I'm done with all of this happening. His parents manipulate you. I try to do this for you and me, like a relationship.
There's this frenzied determination in what she's saying, isn't there? Like, even when Brandon tries to interrupt her a few times, Julia bats him away, bats it off, tells him that she needs to get out what she wants to say, and continues to issue her ultimatum. You constantly take your parents' side over mine, she says over and over again, and I'm sick of it, Brandon. This is our last chance. This is our final attempt at trying to reconnect. If you decide not to come on this trip with me, she says, that will be it. I'll be filing for divorce.
I'm going to buy myself this mean, like, we done. Our relationship is done, and our marriage is done. Because I will be reassured by myself.
Look, for as much of an ultimatum as this is, at least it's good to see that there is still some fight left in their marriage. Like, this is very different from Darcey and Georgi. Julia really is trying here. Now, of course, there's a whole separate conversation to be had about just how sad it is that they need to get away from their lives, have a complete break in a different country in order to reconnect. But this really does feel like one last desperate throw of the dice to try and not just save their marriage, but also break the spell, break the influence that his parents have over Brandon. She wants to literally take him to another continent in order to stop his parents from getting between them. So how does Brandon feel about that? Well, shockingly, his time alone, these past few days without Julia, have also independently brought him to exactly the same conclusion as well.
I'm already going. I've already quit my job.
What do you mean?
I think things have been rocky lately, and I think you might be right. I think this is what we need to fix this.
Julia can't believe it. She seems almost afraid to trust in what he's saying. What do you mean? She says. What do you mean? Really? You've really quit your job? And he has. Brandon really has gone all in on this. Like, he's burnt his bridges. This time, there will be no going back on his promise to her. I'm committed to you. I'm committed to us and our family, he reassures her.
I know it's insane to quit my job, but I realize at this point in my life that it's more important to have Julia in my life than to start a family right now.
It's nice to see that these two are still on the same page, just about. Now, Brandon goes on to say that he does still want to have kids, and of course we do know that in real time off the show they are expecting a little one. But he says, for right now, I realise that as a couple, we need to try and work on our relationship first. I love you, he tells her, and I will take care of you. And it's an emotional, lovely moment. Like, even this step looks like it's already working miracles in reconnecting them. Look at how happy they both are, hugging, kissing, even crying. It's a really big deal for both of them. But there is one slight teeny-weeny potential problem. Brandon's parents. You see, when Julia asks him how his parents feel about his decision to quit his job and travel Europe with her, Brandon admits that he's yet to tell them. And that, once again, leaves Julia feeling concerned.
But
Why?
because you've seen the way they reacted about this information the first time.
So you wait me for...
I'm gonna talk to them, okay?
Yeah, clearly Julia is worried by that. She's worried that either his parents will once again be able to sway his decision, or she'll end up being blamed for all of this. Look, Ron and Betty aren't on board with this. They certainly aren't going to be happy to hear that Brandon has quit his job. But I really, really hope that they're not going to try and scupper this trip. Hopefully they'll let him be. Hopefully Brandon can finally stand up to them.